Alright guys, back with another video, and today I'm going to go through what I think is the most underrated platform to sell your sports cards. For those that want to play the guessing game, it's not Whatnot, it's not eBay, it's not MySlabs, it's not PWCC. In my opinion, the most underrated platform is Facebook. So I did a sale last weekend, which would have taken me about, let's say, an hour and a half to prepare. And then the actual sale itself took around another hour to an hour and a half to actually post. I actually generated more sales in that Facebook sale than I have at any other card show that I have before. Obviously, there's a lot of factors that come into it, so I'll speak about that, why I do think Facebook is superior, or more so slept on, and then I'll give you guys a few tips at the end. So first off, why do I think it's very underrated? You've got to look at cost. And when it comes to Facebook sales, there's really no cost. I mean, if you really want to be specific about it, you can go into the cost of internet and all that sort of stuff. But I think the main cost when running a Facebook sale is effort and time. Now you contrast that to setting up at a card show, and I've got nothing against card shows. I've sold at them, a few times before. If you guys see my vlogs, love setting up at them. But again, I'm just trying to open you guys up to different ways of selling your cards. But in terms of cost, I've sold up at the Melbourne Card Fair a couple of times. Costs around $60 to $70 for a table. I get 2 tables that cost me around $120 to $140. Recently sold at the Hobby Hangout, and that was around $200 per table. So again, we're looking at costs. $0 versus $120 to $400. Now that cost does come with a little bit of a reward as well, because Melbourne Card Fair and Hobby Hangout are big shows. You're going to run into a lot of people that you've never seen before. So for me, I really enjoy selling at those shows because there's a little bit of networking and marketing that come with it. A lot of people that don't watch YouTube channel that come up to the stall before. Easy to network, advertise your eBay store, YouTube channel, all that sort of stuff. So I think that cost does warrant, the cost itself. So I'm not just saying that the cost isn't worth it at all. And I might not be the best person to kind of say this as well, because there are bigger people that have sold at card shows and sold more than me. So you can actually sell more at card shows when it comes to volume and all that sort of stuff and sales. So yeah, this is just more my example. Another thing when it comes to card shows that can be a little bit annoying, even with eBay and all that sort of stuff, is the effort that you've got to put through when it comes to selling your cards. I think people, when you start up at a card show, they just think, oh yeah, it's on the day, you're selling your cards, and then you get your money, and then that's it. But really, the behind the scenes work leading up to it is pretty hectic. So for me, it would take me around a week to properly set up for a card show, just labeling all my cards, putting them into something that I think is going to be organized for you guys as well to go through. So yeah, just stuff like that. And that's also not saying that Facebook sales require no effort, because they do. And I'll give you guys, again, some tips at the end which can make it a little bit more efficient. But I feel like when you're doing Facebook sales, you can do stuff in the background. You can have a TV show in the background. But when you're at a card show, you have to be pretty focused, because you can't just be on your phone the whole time. People will be coming up to you in terms of deals and things that they're wanting to buy. So I think you have to be quite attentive for a longer period compared to selling on Facebook itself. And it's also understated how knackered you could be after a card show itself. It's, again, anywhere from 6 to 8 hours on the day itself. People might have a card show from 11 till 4:30, like the Hobby Hangout. That's 5.5 hours, but people don't really think that you get there around 8:30, 9 a.m. You're setting up, you're waking up early, doing all that sort of stuff. So it's not just a 5.5 hour day, it becomes a 10-hour day. And then if you even want to think about it long-term, even like a week-long process. And if you're an introvert like me, which people might be surprised that Facebook sales are great, because you don't have to deal with people lowballing you as much face-to-face, or you having to decline their offers or anything like that. Rejection is much easier when it's over Facebook or Messenger versus than it is in person. And then if you want to compare Facebook sales to eBay, you've got eBay fees, which take away 13% automatically. And then when it comes to Facebook sales, Pay ID, PayPal, all that sort of stuff, you pretty much get 100% of the sale price, which is good. Like I did say at the start of the video, my most recent Facebook sale sold more than I've ever sold at any card show. But in saying so, I've probably sold anywhere from 40 to 50 times on Facebook over the last 3 years. And I've had sales where I've sold only $100 worth of things. And when you think about the, maybe a couple of hours that you put into it, sometimes it may not be worth it. There are those outliers. So I'm not going to say that, hop into Facebook now and sell all your cards, but you've got to realize that sometimes you're going to have those really great sales, and then sometimes you're going to, maybe not sell as much as you think. And probably the biggest downside of Facebook sales as well is, unlike eBay, when you do list a card on eBay, it's pretty much up there forever, or as long as you want to have it up there for. When it comes to Facebook sales, unfortunately, when you post your sale, it's pretty much up there for around 12 hours. Sometimes I'll get people that will message me the next day, even a couple days after, but that's quite rare. So you've got to remember, again, posting a Facebook sale isn't going to stay up there forever. So if you put that effort in and make sure it's right, you'll have better chances in terms of selling your sports cards. And also, please don't try and think that I'm just saying just sell on Facebook. I've always said on the YouTube channel as well to have a bit of a variety when it comes to your selling platforms. So obviously you've got Facebook, eBay, selling in person at a card event itself. So mix and match, find your perfect balance. They've all got their pros and cons. But yeah, find that balance. All right, I'm gonna run through a few tips so that your first or your next Facebook sale can hopefully be your best and you can generate some sales for yourself. So if we start at the very bottom, try and find your Facebook groups, local to your country. I'm in Australia. I know you guys are in Australia as well, but I think the main Facebook group that we do have is NBA Card Market Australia. There's also NBA Card Collectors Down Under, NBA Trading Cards Australia, NBA Basketball Cards Buy, Sell and Trade. I know worldwide we've got Hotspot. So yeah, just try and find your Facebook groups that are local to your country, because I think that makes a massive difference. Look, it's great to open up your shipping to overseas, but when you're running these big Facebook sales, you don't want to be shipping to America where it's going to cost you anywhere from $25 to $35 to ship a card, especially if you're selling more your low to mid-end cards. People from America aren't just going to look at it. So focus on your local Facebook card group. So a big one that I do recommend as well, and I'm not sure if people do this. So again, I'm going to run through my process. You guys might actually do it yourself, but I actually like to set up my sale the day before the actual sale. And what I mean by that is actually picking out a group of cards that I am actually going to include in the sale, taking photos of them and then pricing them all before the sale, so that when I'm actually doing the sale on the actual day, it's not going to be me taking a photo, then going onto Facebook and going, okay, let's look at comps. What do I think that this price? What do I think that this card will go for? And then putting up the price for the card. That process will take you hours, and I've done that before where a Facebook sale has taken me 2 to 2.5 hours, and you don't want to be doing that. This is a way more efficient way of doing it. So like I said, make sure you're taking good photos of the cards itself. I've put out a video before on how I take photos of my sports cards for Instagram. You don't have to do that whole advanced process. I'd probably just do the first step that I showed there, which is just basically getting a ring light, putting the black mouse pad underneath, and then taking a photo of the card. Makes the cards really pop, and then we'll probably just add to that aesthetic if anyone is wanting to buy the card. Also, when you're taking photos of any of the cards that you're including in a sale, this could be my number one tip in terms of being efficient. So I like to keep a separate box for any cards that I'm using in the sale. And let's say I take a photo of the card itself. I'll grab, like, let's say 15 in a row, take a photo of 15 cards. In the order that I do post it onto the sale, it's going to be the order of the cards in the box itself, so that if people do buy the card, it's not going to be me going like, okay, someone's bought this card, let's search through this pile of cards and see where it is, because that will take ages as well if you've got like hundreds of cards to actually go through. Much more efficient if you're able to actually put aside your 200, 300 cards and then actually have them in order, and then when someone does comment sold, you go through your cards in order and you're actually able to find the card. That will save you a lot of time, and I've gone the other way and it's wasted me a lot of time as well. So I'll just give you guys an example of what I did and what I mean by that. So showing off the new Matt's card case. If you guys haven't seen the case that I've put out in Australia, go check me out on Instagram. But basically going from left to right, front to back, that is the order I posted the cards. So yeah, nice and easy. If I sell a card, I can just know which row it's in and then pick it out, versus, again, this could all be in one pile and then I'm just not knowing where anything is. I'm just guessing and then hoping that I find it. It's very quick. You also want to draw eyes, obviously, to the sale itself. And I think, for me personally, it might be a little bit easier because running 40 to 50 sales, you can build that reputation on a Facebook group. So if you're obviously new, I think the number one thing you've got to start off with is sort of like running a YouTube channel as well. You've got to be almost a little bit clickbaity in your thumbnails, your description and all that sort of stuff. So I would take a really nice photo. You don't have to show every single card, but maybe show the volume of cards that you're going to be selling, or maybe some of the nicer cards that you're going to be selling, and also just include in the description what you're going to be selling. So whether that's going to be slabs, autographs, low to mid-end, high-end, stuff like that, I think will really draw people in. And then when you're wanting to run your sale as well, I think the timing of it is also important. So don't just go to a Tuesday morning and then decide like, oh, I've got to actually sell my cards, because all that effort will go to waste. I think the best time, again, it's more from my experience as well, you might actually find a better day to sell your cards, but I find the best time for me to actually sell my cards on Facebook are Friday nights or Saturday afternoons. So I used to do Saturday afternoons, but I work on a Saturday, so that kind of is out of the question. So Friday nights are perfect for me. So I either do the Wednesday or the Thursday, setting it all up. And then by Friday, I come home from work and then I just smash it all out in an hour to an hour and a half. I've also said this one before, but be efficient when it comes to your packaging materials. So I've got all my padded mailers here with stamps on them. Excuse the mess here, but also the label printer is probably one of the number one things I recommend if you're selling Facebook, eBay, anything, because you can print out labels. You don't have to worry about handwriting or return to sender from the post office. And then I like to cut out my cardboard pieces. So these ones are for slabs, and then these ones right here are for just top-loaded cards there. The last tip I'll say, it's kind of obvious, but just be a good seller as well, because reputation when it comes to this sort of stuff is really important. You know, when it comes to a card community, it is quite small, so you can create a bad rep out there by just doing one or two bad things. So I think as a seller, I will just be really open in terms of shipping. I understand not everyone can do this, but I like to ship my my sales out within one business day. So, you know, some people, you know, when I say I work when I run my sales on a Friday, that means I'm going to ship on the Monday. Understand some people work on a Monday, so that's impossible. But if that's the case, at least be open to the buyer and just say, look, I've got work. I can't ship it on the Monday. It's going to be delayed. It's going to be shipped on the Tuesday. Don't be that person that tries to kind of bounce around with it, because at the end of the day, some of these people are playing via pay ID or family and friends. There's no security for their payments, and they're going to be panicking if you're not going to be open with your communication. It also goes the other way as well. Be a good buyer. I've always said to people, I like, you know, payment within 24 to 48 hours, but I'm also someone who's quite easy on it, you know, being delayed, whether it's you're waiting until payday. But I always say to people, if you're going to delay me 3-4 days, I've even had people delay me a week or two, I'm fine with that as long as I have your word. And I think that's very important when it comes to the hobby and all that sort of stuff. Your word is everything. So if you're not going to be a man of your word, then yeah, that says a lot for me. Yeah, that's me running through why I think Facebook is the most underrated platform to sell my sports cards, or your sports cards as well. So I hope you guys go check it out. I mean, I'm sure you guys have done Facebook sales as well before, but hope some of those tips at the end may have given you some clarity into hopefully making your next Facebook sale your best one. If you're appreciating the content, make sure you hit a like and comment down below what you thought of this video. But yeah, like always, guys, I appreciate you guys as always, and I'll see you guys all in future videos. Take care.